Am I the jerk for asking my partner to remove pictures of us from their Instagram? So, I, a 28-year-old male, have been with my girlfriend, a 25-year-old female, for a year and 6 months, and I love her very much. It has been great so far, but we have different personalities. She is very jovial, outgoing, and friendly with everyone. She is also sort of an influencer with quite a number of followers. I am laid back and have no photos on any of my social media accounts. I like it that way, and I feel better that way too. I have made it known to her right from when we met. I do post pictures on my story once in a while when I find something I feel like sharing. I do post pictures of sceneries, but sometimes of myself. Every time we go out, she takes pictures of us and always wants to post pictures on her Facebook and Instagram, which makes me feel very uncomfortable. On several occasions, she has posted my pictures or pictures of us without my consent, and I did not feel good about it. She does not mean any harm, she just likes to share everything online. I do not like it at all. I am quite the opposite. She was so persistent with the online thing that I agreed with her she can post pictures of us on her story, which deletes after 24 hours. I have nothing against her doing her thing. I support her in any way I can, and I assist her in taking pictures. I am proud of what she is doing, but I do not want her to get me involved. But today, on our way back from the beach, she asked me if she could post a picture of us. I said sure. I thought she meant on her story. Hours later, I found she posted pictures of us kissing and some other pictures on her Instagram profile. I felt played because she knew exactly where I stood on this matter, and she knew what I answered when she asked me to post the pictures. I was not happy about it, and I expressed myself to her that she is not respecting my boundaries. She went ahead to delete the post and then said she does not want to understand my opinion. She said I am ashamed of us, and that is why I do not want her posting pictures of us. Now that hurt me. Am I wrong for having a different opinion? Am I the bad person for not wanting pictures of me and my girlfriend online? Y'all don't sound compatible at all. It's important to be with someone who doesn't mind not being hidden. There seems to be a clear mismatch in what both of you want. Maybe it's time to rethink the relationship. Am I the jerk for insisting that my partner get out of bed? My wife, who is 40 years old, and I, who am 38 years old, both suffer from PTSD from an incident that took place during our military service. My wife left the military immediately after this event, and I served 10 years before eventually returning to civilian life. The transition period was really rough on me, and I did not know I was suffering from PTSD at the time. I could not keep a job. I was angry all the time. I ruined several relationships with friends and family. My wife almost left me several times. Finally, I got help. I went to the VA, and they helped me with therapy and medication. I have an official diagnosis from the VA and a disability rating tied to PTSD, but I still suffer from the symptoms. My wife and I did not speak about the event that led to our trauma much over the years. When I did, it was always because of what happened. When I was filing my disability claim with the VA, I asked her why she was not also filing a claim. She told me she did not feel comfortable doing that we view our military service differently, and that I was being overly sensitive. I got upset and asked her if she was so unaffected by what happened, then why did she leave the military right after? She told me that she had fulfilled her obligation and was ready to move on to something else. That is not what happened. I reminded her of what really happened and asked her if she remembered it. Her eyes glossed over and she told me she did not remember any of it. We went through everything slowly, in detail, and finally she started to remember. We were shocked. She had suppressed the entire memory. It wrecked her. We spent the rest of the day crying and reliving all of the anger and despair. She apologized to me for being cruel and not realizing how much I had been suffering all these years. It felt good to finally understand each other again. The good feelings did not last though. She had a nervous breakdown about a week later and spent some time in an inpatient mental health facility. She goes to therapy twice a month ever since. It has been a year and a half since that day. I have been patient. I mostly know what she is going through. I went through a lot of the same stuff back when she thought I was being overly sensitive. I did not get the patience or empathy that she is asking of me. Still, I try to give it. I understand her pain and I want her to recover on her own time, but the financial reality of the situation will not allow it. We are drowning in debt and will lose our home if we do not turn things around now. I have begun insisting every day that she gets out of bed in the morning. She spends about 90% of her time in bed. She has gained a lot of weight and has been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I told her she does not have to do anything. Just get out of bed. She can sit on the couch all day and watch YouTube if she wants. Just a baby step. We argue about it constantly. Please. I just want my wife back. Am I the antagonist? It's way above Reddit's pay grade, so it wouldn't be fair to mark either of you as assholes or not. Your wife certainly needs a therapist and/or psychiatrist to get the help she needs, and you need to support her through it. Let a therapist guide the healing process and timeline on this. Hopefully, y'all make it through and get all the support you deserve. Am I the jerk for reprimanding someone for their comments about deaf people? I, female 28 years old, work in a small shop and restaurant in an apartment complex. I deal a lot with the customers directly because I often assist with ringing up customers and taking orders even though I am the manager. There are a handful of teenagers that are disrespectful to myself or my staff, but for the most part the kids and teenagers are very polite and well-behaved. The teenager in question, male, approximately 14-15 years old, has been reprimanded in my shop before for going against one of our policies and using his bare hands to help himself to our loose sweets. We have an established system where one of our shop assistants helps the kids and teenagers with the sweets using gloves. We have helped him personally this way before several times, so he should know better. When I asked him if he forgot COVID existed and that it's unhygienic, he apologized and we moved on. He did not seem like a disrespectful kid, just impatient and possibly did not really think before he acted. That was about 2 weeks ago, but today there was a new incident that occurred outside of the store. The complex has an open smoking area that is about 10-15 meters from the store that gets a lot of sunshine, so I opt to smoke there rather than behind the restaurant kitchen. It's still chilly in the mornings here. The aforementioned teenager and a friend of his were sitting in the smoking area, not smoking, just chatting, and I sat across from them, greeted them, and started scrolling on Reddit. The teenager was going on some tangent about people at school when he seemingly randomly switched to talking about deaf people. As a person within the community, hard of hearing, may possibly lose what is left of my hearing within the next 10 years, I was quite taken aback by some of the things he was saying. He was basically making fun of how some deaf people make sounds or try to speak when they are signing, and how they are stupid for doing so because they do not know how words sound. He also made some other comments along the lines of how stupid and funny deaf people are in the way they act, and then started making fun of them by fake signing and making the noises that some deaf people make while communicating. This is where I might be in the wrong. I looked up at him and his friend and very bluntly said, "That's incredibly disrespectful. I'm part of the deaf community, and you should never make fun of anyone's disability." The teenager and his friend stammered a little bit, got up, and left the smoking area. I do not regret standing up for my community. I do not stand for prejudice at all, and have kicked people out of my shop for being racist, homophobic, etc. in the past. However, this was a teenager and I am not his parent nor his teacher, and I am worried it may not be my place to reprimand him. I did not shout, and I was not aggressive, but I was blunt and to the point. I also feel like because I was essentially eavesdropping on their conversation, not by choice, that I should not have butted into their conversation. You are not the cause of this issue. Kids often do dumb things, but it's important to teach them about the impact of their actions. Pointing out that mocking people can be hurtful is totally valid. It's even better if the kid knows you, as it can help put a personal human side on the deaf community. Am I the jerk for telling my partner to do all the chores? My boyfriend, who is a 30-year-old male, and I, a 29-year-old female, have been together for 2 years, initially in a long-distance relationship. He moved in with me in January after he was laid off. I have a well-paid job, so I am renting a 3-room apartment, which is pretty expensive but normal for the area I live in. I have been paying the rent, all the utilities, the car expenses, and the gas 80% of the time, as well as most of the groceries by myself for 9 months now, which add up to half of my salary every month. He does pay for his own groceries most of the time. Moreover, I paid for a vacation for him, covering accommodation and flights. He has not managed to find any sort of income in 9 months, except for 1 month when he worked in a call center and was fired again, and some 3 private classes that the mother of the child decided to discontinue. He is an engineer with little work experience in a not popular field in the job market. I tried all this time to support him, but I am getting upset because he does not do anything around the house if I do not ask him. Moreover, he got speeding tickets of 300 euros that I had to pay. Lately, I got really annoyed because I feel like he just expects me to pay for everything while he still has 18,000 euros in savings. I told him to go out and network in hopes of finding a job, but he did not. He does not know how to have productive conversations, although he can talk for hours with people, which annoys me. I told him he needs to get his life together and in the meantime, keep the house sparkling clean at least. I also have an autoimmune disease and I am chronically fatigued, so chores are a real struggle for me. Lately, I keep seeing posts about women who provide for men. My mom also did this for my dad, and I think women are being taken advantage of by men more and more. This is also not the first relationship where this has happened. Am I the jerk for getting mad at him and asking him to contribute 100% in cleaning the apartment? Clarifications. He has applied for a lot of jobs as a supermarket employee, waiter, and basically everything, and he has been rejected from all of them, probably for being overqualified. I live in Switzerland and it is difficult to find a job here. However, I did prompt him to find other solutions for working remotely, but he says he does not know how to. He has been doing stuff like grocery shopping or picking up my parcels from the post office. He said he moved here to be with me, otherwise, he would be living with his parents in another country. You are not to blame, but it's time for a serious conversation about this situation. He's been living with you for 9 months, unemployed for most of that time, and not contributing around the house. He needs to find a job and start helping out, or you should reconsider the relationship. You deserve a partner, not a freeloader, so don't let yourself be a doormat. Am I the jerk for joking about my sister-in-law to my husband? I, 23-year-old female, married my husband, 27-year-old male, last year. We moved abroad and I struggle to make friends since I do not speak the language yet. When my husband has time off, we visit his sister, who lives 12 hours away by train. I am autistic and awkward in social settings, but I am kind and always try to engage with people. My relationship with his sister, 29-year-old female, is not close, but this time, I felt like we were getting along better, joking and talking more. My husband and I fight a lot, but we promised not to during this visit to avoid ruining the experience. On the last day, we were getting ready to visit my sister-in-law's old neighbors. I dressed nicely but saw her in casual clothes, so I changed to match her. While doing my makeup, I saw her getting new clothes from the closet. I joked to my husband, wouldn't it be funny if she changed into something else now? Maybe because she saw me in kind of a formal way, and then I'd have to change again. My husband said it wasn't a nice thing to say, and that I shouldn't assume what she would do. I explained that it was just a joke, but he insisted I wasn't being kind. He left the room upset. Later, he came back to tell me to hurry for breakfast. I explained that I wasn't trying to insult his sister and that I did say the same about myself. I also mentioned that my friends and I used to do that all the time. He replied, "It's okay to say that about yourself, but not about her." When I asked if it's different because it's his sister, he got really angry, saying it was rude to call her your sister instead of using her name. I corrected myself, but by then he was furious and stormed out. Afterward, he came into the room, threw the folded laundry I had done onto the suitcase, and told me to eat breakfast. I wasn't hungry and felt upset that he threw the clothes after seeing me cry. He insisted I eat so his effort making breakfast wasn't wasted. I went, but I couldn't stop tearing up. Even when we went out, tears kept streaming down my face for the whole 1-hour road trip. He sent me messages while we were on the train saying how he hates me and doesn't want to visit his sister with me again. He accused me of making things up about her and his mom, even though I've been nothing but kind and helpful to them ever since we got engaged. When his sister noticed something was wrong because I kept tearing up, I said it was okay. Am I the asshole? You are not the one to blame. Your husband is a mess of a human being, and it may be hard to see from the inside, but he is abusing you. You made a harmless and funny observation, and he goes off the handle, which is a huge red flag. Take a good hard look at your reality and ask yourself if you truly think you're the problem, because you deserve better. Am I the jerk for calling my stepson the second coming of the Messiah? I, a 45-year-old man, live with my fiancée, a 43-year-old woman, our 2 daughters, and my stepson, a 12-year-old boy. Ever since her son reached puberty, he has become difficult to manage. His attitude is appalling and he talks to people poorly. He has no respect for others. My partner treats him like he is a celebrity. He was excused from school for a day because he told a teacher to go away. He is spoiled rotten by his grandparents. He has 2 electric bikes, a motorbike he was given for Christmas, a PlayStation 5, mobile phones, tablets, and money into an account which he uses at will. He is allowed out whenever he wants and has a late curfew. He has no real bedtime, and when he does go to bed, he stays on his phone until all hours. My partner works part-time, and I work full-time. I try to pick up a bit of overtime here and there, but it is difficult. I probably pay 60% of the household bills. He goes to soccer practice and is driven and picked up. He gets virtually everything he wants. However, the way he talks to people angers me. I am from the UK, and he is what you would call a chav. My partner thinks he is wonderful. He does absolutely nothing to help around the house. A few years ago, I asked my partner, and she agreed, that he would do the dishwasher and recycling. To date, he has maybe done the dishwasher once and the recycling a handful of times. These are daily chores. We had a massive blowout a few weeks ago because I repeatedly asked him to clean up after himself and his friends. He did a poor job and I told him to do it again, but he still left a lot of mess lying around. I said, "That's it, you're not going back out with your friends." He told me to go away and to die, then he pushed past me. I had to restrain him and basically threw him upstairs to stop him from leaving. After my partner came home, we chatted and sorted it out, with an agreement that he would be better and start doing those chores we agreed on years prior. He did none of that. This morning, he told my 7-year-old daughter to stop licking the chocolate spread off her toast because it was disgusting. I told him to ignore her and not look at her. He told me in a rude way, "I wasn't talking to you." I took his plate of toast away and told him to leave. This resulted in him telling me to go away and that I am a derogatory term and he wishes I was dead. My partner came out of the toilet and started yelling at me. It resulted in a horrendous argument. She gave me back the engagement ring and said we are done. I argued that she treats him like he is the second coming of the Messiah and she worships the ground he walks on. There is no discipline, no rules, no boundaries, and no enforcement of chores. When I enforce them or try to, I am insulted and told to go away. Now, admittedly, I used some choice words after he told me to go away, but I will not be spoken to like that by anyone. let alone a 12-year-old child, yet my partner cannot see what he is becoming. He is entitled and spoiled. Am I the asshole? You did the right thing for sure. That kid needs to be cut off from everything he likes and taught several lessons. His mother should have reacted differently, but she seems blinded by whatever she sees in him. Don't give his mother the engagement ring back. Just kick them out and move on. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.